All right, so yesterday we had a discussion over the major topic for yesterday was our average and instantaneous values. Once again, I would like to repeat that average value you get by just simply displacement upon time, the change in position upon change in time. V average change in position upon change in time, or simply you can say x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1, or simply
delta x upon delta t.
Yes, displacement upon time, because displacement is nothing but the change in position only, so it is delta x upon delta t, right? This was your V average. This way you will find out the average velocity. How graphically you will find? Graphically what it means? Graphically it means slope of chord joining T1 x1 and T2 x2. You will find the slope of the chord joining T1 x1 and T2 x2. How you will find out the slope? By tan theta. Theta is the angle made by the chord with the positive direction of time axis, or you can find by this method, that one, the 2-point form, that is it is x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. If you have 2 points on the, if you have the 2 points, then you can find, this is nothing but the slope only. Or if you are given the angle, then you can find the tangent of the angle. Remember that theta is the angle made by the chord with positive direction of time axis. Okay, this is the graphical method. Now V instantaneous, mathematically it is limit delta t tends to 0, delta x upon delta t, which is nothing but dx upon dt, derivative of displacement with respect to time. Okay, graphically it is slope of tangent to the curve at x comma t. Because it is understood that if you are finding average velocity, then you will find it in a time interval t2 minus t1. But if you are finding instantaneous velocity, then you must be finding at an instant of time, which is t. At that instant, the displacement must be x. So you will find the slope of the tangent to the curve at x comma t. At that point you will draw the tangent and you will find out the slope of the tangent. Okay. Suppose this is your graph like this. Suppose I ask you to find out the suppose this is t equals to 2. Suppose I ask you to find out the instantaneous velocity at time 2 seconds. So at t equals to 2, you will mark the point and you will draw a tangent to the curve like this. Okay, observe this angle, find the tangent of that angle, and that will be your instantaneous velocity at t equals to 2 here. Suppose I ask you to find out at t equals to 5, then you draw the perpendicular here. Now you draw the tangent at this point. Now this angle's tangent you find out, that will be your instantaneous velocity at t equals to 5. I think it's okay. Yesterday, this we discussed yesterday only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so if you can, if you want, you can make a small note of this, or you can take the screenshot, because this is very important. What mathematically is, what graphically is average velocity, what mathematically and graphically is your instantaneous velocity. Okay, next thing is relative velocity. Relative velocity, like just I give you an example that suppose suppose A is moving in this direction with 5 km per hour and B is moving in this direction with 3 km per hour, and C is in the state of rest and D is moving in this direction with the speed of suppose 2 kilometer per hour, right? So we have A, B, C and D. We have 4 people, those who are moving in this way. Now we are only considering that motion in one dimension, only straight line motion we are considering, okay, not the motion in plane, in one dimensional motion. So V, A, B, what I will how I will pronounce this, it is the relative velocity of A with respect to B, okay, relative velocity of A with respect to B. So for that, what you will have to do, remember that the process of finding the relative velocity, this is the person whose relative velocity you are finding. The first one is the body whose relative velocity you are finding. Second is your reference point, with respect to whom, okay. So what you have to do is you will have to bring that second body in the state of rest, okay. So how you will bring this body in the state of rest? If I am finding VAB, I will bring this in the state of rest. So what I will do, I will subtract 3 km per hour, so that it is having a speed of plus 3 km per hour. I will subtract 3 km, so it becomes 0. But if you are subtracting 3 here, then you will have to perform the same expression for A also, because you are finding VAB. So we will have to subtract 3 from here also, 3 km per hour. So what I get? 2 km per hour. So how much VAB? 2 km per hour. Speed of A is 5. Speed of B is 3. But VAB, relative velocity of A with respect to B, is 2 km per hour. Means the gap between them is increasing at a rate of 2 km per hour. Suppose I want to find out VAC. VAC. Now C is already in the state of rest. Okay, so no need to bring it further in the state of rest. Simply you are not going to subtract anything or add anything, so VA will remain as it is, 5 km per hour. So relative velocity of A with respect to C is 5 km per hour, right? Then VAD, velocity of A with respect to D. Now D is moving in this direction, okay? So to
7 kilometer.
Yes, you are right. So what I will have to do, I will have to provide it a velocity of 2 km per hour in this direction, in order to bring D in the state of rest. Okay, so if I am providing 2 km per hour in this direction and it is already having a 5 km per hour in that direction, so now I will add them. So my velocity will be 7 km per hour, VAD. Okay, again repeating the process. The second one is the point of reference, is the object of reference. First is the body whose velocity you are finding. So you are finding the velocity of A with respect to B. Whenever you want, your reference body should always be in the state of rest. You remember this term particularly, because when we will move to the motion in 2 dimensions, there also you will have to do the same thing. The second body means with respect to which you are finding the speed, that body has to be in the state of rest. You will have to bring that body in the state of rest. Remember this. Okay, remember this my statement particularly. You can note down somewhere that reference body must be in rest. Then only you can find out the velocity. Now suppose I want to find out VBD, velocity, relative velocity of B with respect to D, right? So now D, I will have to bring D in the state of rest. So 2 km per hour in that direction. It is already having 3 km per hour in that direction. So
5 km per hour.
It will be, yes, good, 5 km per hour is VBD. So from here you can simply understand that if 2 bodies are there, A moving with VA and you have B moving with VB, right? If they are moving in same direction, then relative velocity of A with respect to B will be VA minus VB, because in order to bring it in the state of rest, you will have to provide in opposite direction VB. So VA minus VB. Subtraction will give you the relative velocity. Okay, if suppose they are moving in different directions, VA and suppose VB. This is B. Then VAB is given by VA plus VB. Remember this. If suppose two bodies are moving in same direction, okay, then the relative velocity will be obtained by subtracting the individual velocities. If they are moving in opposite direction, then you will have to add the velocities in order to get the relative velocity. Okay, this is your actual outcome of this discussion. Okay, now there can be a situation other than this also. Now what is the situation here? Remember that your body A is moving on the ground, right? A is moving but ground is in the state of rest. B is moving but ground is in the state of rest. But there can be another condition also. What is that? Condition is, suppose a boat is moving in water, right? Now the water is your B, is your B body. Water is B body, so it is having a velocity VB, right? And this boat is having a velocity VA. Suppose in this direction, it is also in this direction. Now this is a different case. Okay, now one body is moving on another body. Okay, this is not that similar case, this one. This is a different case. In this case, the relative velocity of A with respect to B is VA plus VB if they are moving in same direction. And if they are moving in opposite direction, then VAB is equal to VA minus VB. This is same direction, this is opposite direction. This is same direction, this is opposite direction. So you will have to remember the two conditions, two different conditions. Both the objects are moving on a stationary object. Same direction, subtraction. Opposite direction, addition. Right? One body is moving on other body. Same direction, addition. Opposite direction, subtraction. Okay? I think it is clear. Yes. Is this okay?
Yes,
Fine?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Remember this, okay? You will have to first look at the condition, that what condition is given to you. According to that, you will find out the relative velocity. And one thing I want to tell you, that relative velocity concept is very important here in mechanics. In mechanics, for your exams also, means your class 11th, any exam, relative velocity concept is very important. Okay?
So in the last opposite case,
Okay, here we finished the first part of this chapter. I told you yesterday that we will discuss this chapter in two parts. One is uniform motion and other is uniformly accelerated motion. So we finished this part here, uniform motion. Now we will start the uniformly accelerated motion. Uniformly accelerated means, acceleration means the velocity is changing, the change in velocity. Uniform acceleration means the velocity is increasing or decreasing uniformly. Okay, the increase or decrease is uniform, right? So first of all, we'll start with position time graph of uniformly accelerated motion. In short, I am writing uniformly accelerated motion. For that, what type of position time graph you will get. Okay, this is position, this is time, right? Now the position, remember this, suppose you have a straight line. Straight line means your position is changing equally in equal intervals of time. Suppose this is t1, this is t2, this is t3, like this. This is x1, this is x2, and this is x3. So if suppose t1 equals to t2 equals to t3, then x1, then this gap is equal to this gap. If these gaps are equal, then they are also equal. Means that equal displacement in equal intervals of time. This type of motion is uniform motion. Okay, uniform motion means with constant velocity. So xt graph with a straight line represents uniform motion, motion with uniform velocity. But now we are discussing uniformly accelerated motion. It means that the displacement will increase, however, equally in equal intervals of time. So suppose like this, suppose this is your T1, this is T2, this is T3, this is T4. Let us suppose that this is equal to this, and here what we obtained is that, let us suppose that this one, this is suppose your first displacement, this is second displacement. Let us suppose that they both, this interval is equal to this interval, right? In first interval, suppose for example you get a displacement of 2 units. Just giving you an example, in first interval you are getting a displacement of 2 units. In second interval, suppose this is 1 second, right? Suppose in next 1 second you get a displacement of 4 units. It means that, suppose if this point is 0, if this is 1, then this point is 2, and then this point should be suppose 6. Okay, this point is 1, this is 2, 3, 4. Now in this 1 second you got a displacement of 2 units. Just a minute. We will suppose mark, yes, okay. Suppose 1. In this 1 second we get a displacement of suppose 1 unit, right? Then in next 1 second we get a displacement of the body, the position is at 6. So how much is the displacement in next 1 second? Here, this is 4 units. How much was the displacement? 1 units. थोड़ा ज़्यादा बड़ा हो जाएगा तो मैं इसकी वैल्यूज थोड़ी छोटी कर देता हूँ. Let us suppose that this is 4. So the displacement is 2 units. In first second, 1 unit displacement. Next 1 second, the displacement is of 2 units. So the displacement means the position, the rate of change of position is changing. Now in next 1 second, again in 1 second, this 1 second, right? The position of the object becomes, suppose,
7.
just a minute, suppose this is 8, right? Okay, so it means that what is the displacement? 4 units. Now you look at this condition, your time doubled, 1 to 2. You started from 0, 1 second, 1 unit displacement. When your time doubles, when your time becomes 1 to 2, your time doubles, your displacement becomes 1 to 2. Displacement is also doubled. Now time is increased by 1 unit in next 1 second, and the displacement is again doubled. Okay, are you getting it? देखिए, पहले first 1 second your displacement was 1 unit. One more second, displacement by 2 units, increased by 2 units. Body is at 4, displacement increased by 2 units. Then in next 1 more second, displacement is increased by 4 units. So how time is changing? 1, 2, 3. How displacement is changing? 1, 2, 4. So you can say that there is an equal increase. Well, how much is the increase? How much is the increase here? Increase in displacement. The rate simply means that you are, see, I just want to tell you, uniformly accelerated motion means your speed is increasing equally in equal intervals of time. Means speed is changing. So speed changing means you are not going to get a straight line. You will get a smooth curve like this. Okay, this type of graph will give you the uniformly accelerated motion. In terms of position time graph, your uniformly accelerated motion will be this one. Okay, all right. You will not get a straight line. Simply means just that much I wanted to tell you, that you will get a curve, not a straight line. Okay. Now, what will be your velocity time graph for uniformly accelerated motion? This was position time graph. Now, velocity time graph will be a straight line, because in this suppose T1, your T2 and T3 equal intervals of time, your velocity V1, velocity V2 and velocity V3. Velocity changes equally with equal intervals of time, so you will get a straight line. Okay, so finally what we conclude from here is, for a uniformly accelerated motion, position time graph will be a smooth curve, okay, whereas the velocity time graph will be a straight line, this much. Okay, now we come on to this term acceleration. What is acceleration? It is rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity, right? Now acceleration again can be of two types, average and instantaneous, right? Average or instantaneous, just similar to the previous topic, everything is same. Here the graph will not be xt graph, here the graph will be vt graph, velocity time graph, okay? And suppose this is your, suppose you get a graph of this type, okay? First let us start with the uniformly accelerated motion. Suppose you have a uniformly accelerated motion, vt graph will be a straight line. Then average velocity, suppose at t1 the velocity was v1, at t2 velocity was v2, right? So how you will find out the average velocity? Average velocity, v average equals to total change in velocity. Change in velocity means v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus t1, that is delta v upon delta t. Average velocity will be change in velocity upon average, velocity, just made a mistake. It should be average acceleration. Average. Average acceleration is change in velocity upon change in time, right? If I make this interval infinitesimally small, like this, then these 2 points will be approximately the same point, and I will get a single value, approximately a single value of v. So in that case it will become instantaneous acceleration. So instantaneous acceleration, A instantaneous, is equal to what condition I will have to put? Limit delta t tends to 0, delta v upon delta t, which is nothing but dv upon dt. Derivative of velocity with respect to time will give you the instantaneous acceleration, right? Here one thing you will have to remember, that suppose I have a straight line. Now what this is the slope of the line, slope of the chord, which is the line itself. This line is the chord here. You don't have a curve. So the line itself is the chord. So this is the slope of line, right? This is nothing but slope of tangent, right? Slope of the tangent. And what is the tangent at this point? The tangent at this point is the line itself. So when you have a case of uniformly accelerated motion, in that case A average is equal to A instantaneous. Average acceleration is same as instantaneous acceleration when you have a uniformly accelerated motion. We are talking about uniformly accelerated motion. Non-uniformly accelerated motion, they will be different, but it is not included right now in our syllabus, but I will tell you a little bit about that. So non-uniformly accelerated motion, then your graph will be different. What type of graph you will get? A curve. Okay, the change in velocity is unequal in equal intervals of time. So suppose you have t1 and you have t2. Then suppose the velocity here is v1 and the velocity here is v2, right? Then what will be this point? This is t1 v1, this is t2 v2, right? If I join it, I will get the chord. Now the slope of chord will be equal to average acceleration, right? Slope of the chord will be equal to average acceleration. How I will get? I will extend this. Suppose theta is the angle made by the chord with positive direction of time axis. Tangent of that theta will give you the slope equal to tan theta, right? Slope of the chord will give you the average acceleration. Nothing new is there. Just what we have already discussed in case of velocity, the same thing we are repeating here. Average you will get by finding the slope of the chord, but your graph should be VT graph. This time for velocity it is XT graph, for acceleration it is VT graph. Okay, so slope of chord will give you the average acceleration and will be given by V2 minus V1 upon T2 minus T1, right? If I make this interval infinitesimally small, if I bring them so close that it becomes an instant, then there the velocity will be v, and let us suppose that the instant is t. Then slope of tangent, because this chord in that case will become the tangent. So slope of tangent equals to a instantaneous, right, which is equal to this. Suppose this is phi, will be equal to tan phi, where phi is the angle made by the tangent with positive direction of time axis, and it is nothing but limit delta t tends to 0, v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus t1 is equal to dv upon dt. I think there should not be any problem in this particular part, because we have already discussed in detail that how we obtain these conditions in case of velocity. Just a simple difference is only this, that instead of xt graph we are using vt graph, and what there in that condition was velocity, here it is acceleration. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. Yes? Students, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So any problem?
No doubt.
It is, I think, very much similar to that particular velocity part only. Same way, same thing. You want to find average value, you will have to find out the slope of the chord. How you will find? The change in velocity upon change in time, right? For instantaneous value, you will find the slope of the tangent to the curve, and it is this expression. You will put the limiting value delta t tends to 0, which is nothing but the derivative of velocity with respect to time. Okay? Alright, so last topic in this chapter. This was a small chapter. The last topic here is equations of motion. Okay? Equations of motion. Equations of motion means v equals to u plus at, s equals to ut plus half at square, v square minus u square equals to 2as, that you have already gone through in your class 9th syllabus, and you have obtained this equations of motion graphically in class 9th. Okay, it was included there. Suppose we have a VT graph of uniformly accelerated motion. As I told you that uniformly accelerated motion, VT graph will be a straight line. So we have drawn a straight line. Let us suppose that when we started observing the motion, at that time the body was already in the motion and was having an initial velocity u. Okay, so u is initial velocity at t equals to 0 when we started observing the motion. Let us suppose that v equals to final velocity at t. After time t, suppose the final velocity is v, this one, right? This. Okay. Let us suppose that t equals to time taken by the object to increase the velocity from u to v. Okay. Let us suppose that x equals to displacement. X is the displacement. Okay. And a equals to acceleration, uniform. One thing you remember that these equations of motion, they are applicable for uniformly accelerated motion only. If your acceleration is non-uniform, then you cannot apply these equations of motion. Okay. This acceleration should be constant, uniform. Alright, so I draw a perpendicular like this, suppose M, okay, and let us name this as A, B, M, let us suppose this is C, right? Okay, so first one is how you will get the acceleration. Acceleration is change in velocity upon time. The change in velocity upon time is your acceleration. So acceleration, so you can say that v minus u equals to at, or v is equal to u plus at. Okay, acceleration means how much is the change in given time. So change in velocity, or simply you can say the slope of graph. You have to find out the slope of the graph. What are the values here? The values are t comma v. What are the values here? 0 comma u. So how much is slope? y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, and the slope will give you acceleration. Okay, the slope will give you the acceleration. Which acceleration here? Average or instantaneous? Yes, tell me.
Average.
Both,
Average.
beta, both,
Average.
because this is uniformly accelerated motion. I told you, right? I have mentioned here that in uniformly accelerated motion, average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration are same. Okay, right? So you are getting any acceleration, it is instantaneous or average, you are getting the acceleration here, right? So how you will get y2? What is slope? Slope is equal to y2 minus y1, v minus u upon x2 minus x1, t minus 0. Now what is slope of vt graph? It is acceleration, equals to v minus u upon t, which I mentioned here. Okay, so we obtain the slope of the graph to get the first equation. This is graphical method that I am telling you, right? Now next is second equation. From vt graph, how you will obtain the distance traveled, or the total distance. Second, distance traveled S equals to area of A, B, C, O. Area of this complete graph, this one, this area will give you the distance traveled. I will give you few points that you will note down, I will note down here, and that you will have to keep in your mind, okay, related to the graphs. Now area ABCO, you can write, is equal to area of this part, area AMCO plus area this part, right? ABMA. Okay. Now area, this is a rectangle, and how much is the area? Length into breadth. How much is length? It is t. What is breadth? U. So it is ut, right? Plus area of the triangle. half into base into height. Okay, suppose this is the base. How much it is? T, right? And how much is the height? This is a triangle. Okay, half into base into height. What is this well length? This is
V.
V minus U.
yes,
V
V
minus
minus U, right? Because this is V and this is U. So this part is V minus U. Okay. Now how much was V minus U? V is equal to U plus AT. So V minus U equals to AT. So I can write UT plus half T into AT using the first form. So what I get? UT plus half AT square. This is your second equation. Graphically obtaining the equations that we are discussing. So graphically we obtained the second equation. Now the third one is your V square minus U square equals to 2AS. Now it is again related to the distance. Now again S is equal to area. You can say A, B, C, O, this complete area. Now can you find out this area in other way? Yes, we can. This is your trapezium, right? So we can apply the formula for area of a trapezium also. What is that? Half sum of parallel sides into altitude or the perpendicular height, right? These are two parallel sides, these two, right? What is this length? U. What is this length? V. So this is half U plus V, right? And altitude is this. And how much is that? T, right? Okay. Now we have V is equal to U plus AT. So can I write T is equal to V minus U upon A from the first equation? So I will replace this T 1 by 2 U plus V into V minus U upon A, right? Now this 2A will be multiplied to here, 2AS, and this is A minus B into A plus B, A square minus B square. So V square minus U square equals to 2AS. This is the third equation. Okay. Before concluding today, before the conclusion, I want to tell you just a few important points related to the graphs. This complete that we have done, this graphical derivation of equations of motion is in your class 9 syllabus. So we should not have discussed it here, but let it be just for recalling that particular part. I discussed this graphical method also. Important derivation here is the most important part of this chapter. Every time you will get a question of this one, means this question you will get every time in any exam. If this chapter is included, you will get the particular question. Obtain the equations of motion by calculus method. Okay, and calculus method we don't have time today, so I'm not discussing the calculus method today. Sir will take class tomorrow, so you can ask him to discuss this calculus method. That will be the most important topic, telling you. Equations of motion, deriving equations of motion by calculus method. This is important in your syllabus. Now just one or two points that I want to mention here. Slope of xt graph, right, gives you velocity, right? Slope of the xt graph. Now xt graph, if it is a straight line, I already told you that which velocity you will get from which type of means suppose you have a curve. If you are finding the slope of the chord, then it will be average velocity. Simply I am just mentioning that what you get from the graphs. If you have a xt graph and you are finding the slope of xt graph will give you the velocity, right? Slope of vt graph will give you the acceleration. Okay, then area under vt graph with time axis always give you distance traveled. Okay, suppose you have vt graph and this is your suppose graph. Now this in case of VT graph, if you find the area under the graph with the time axis, this area, if you will find out this area, you will always get the distance traveled. Okay, this you will have to keep in your mind. Okay, right. So I will finish this here today. Only one last topic.